Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. As we're just going to jump onto the ladder, currently sitting at a rating of 1816. It's been a really fun week with Jabberwocky's team. If you've not seen yesterday's episode, I also highly recommend that. The second game in yesterday's episode was absolutely crazy, but we've had a lot of good games so far with the team, and I'm excited to see what today's episode will bring us. Haven't really been using Volcarona and Togekiss nearly as much as I'm sure a lot of you guys would have liked to see, so maybe they'll make an appearance in today's episode. They are really situational Pokemon, as I keep on mentioning in all the different episodes, mainly because Volcarona is one of those Pokemon that can either sweep through all 6 of your opponent's Pokemon or has a lot of difficulty dealing with stuff like Landorus T, but it's also a comfort thing. I'm sure if Danny, who originally created the team, played with it, it'd be a bit different just because he has the comfort level to bring it. We're going to find a 1656 rated player from Japan to kick off today's episode, and as always, if you enjoy Road to Rank, please show your support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Wow, mixed up my words there. Anyway, my opponent here has a team of Kangaskhan, Zapdos, Landorus, Heatran, Gardevoir, and Amoonguss. So, it's got the Gardevoir, Amoonguss, Heatran core, which is definitely rising in popularity, especially over in Japan. It's been really popular. So, the Trick Room aspect of that. But then you've got Kangaskhan, Landorus, which, of course, is staples on most teams, and then Zapdos. So, it's pretty interesting to see the dual Mega here on my opponent's team. You don't see Kangaskhan and Gardevoir paired up too often. So, let's see what I can lead with. I like Rotom Wash just because it gives me a lot of security against Landorus and Heatran. And I kind of like Landorus here just to get the Intimidate off should he choose to lead with Kangaskhan or Landorus. Edge Slash in the back for the Gardevoir mainly should my opponent bring it, and I guess Kang is the last one. But once again, that means I don't bring Togekiss and Volcarona. But, of course, you should never bring a Pokemon unless you feel like it will help you win the matchup. So, are Togekiss and Volcarona worth bringing in this? I could actually see myself bringing Togekiss just because of its ability to shut down Amoonguss and can also help me set up Tailwind. I'm actually tempted to lead with it here. I actually like Togekiss, Rotom, and Landorus in the back, and Kangaskhan as my last one. Yeah, I mean, Edge Slash is nice here, but I don't know, it's too slow, I guess. I mean, one reason why I would bring it is, one, my opponent would probably walk into a weakness policy in which I could, get the double special attack. And then, two, it can, hard counter the Gardevoir. But I'm going to keep it on the bench, this time bringing the Togekiss. We'll see how this plays out. So, Togekiss and Rotom coming out for me here, as my opponent leads with Kangaskhan and Zapdos, I believe. Yeah, that's a really, really strong lead from my opponent's end here. Not one that I like to see. Pretty much one of the hardest counters I could have faced against. So, I suspect we're going to see a Fake Out onto Rotom and either a Tailwind or a Thunderbolt onto Togekiss. So I think I'm actually going to try to match my opponent's Tailwind by setting up a Tailwind here and switch my Rotom out into Landorus to get the Intimidate off. This way, if he Thunderbolts Togekiss, I should actually be able to survive it, set up my Tailwind, and then the following turn I can Air Slash Rock Slide the Kangaskhan. And if he sets up Tailwind, then we both set up Tailwind, and then I get the, my Landorus is still the fastest Pokemon on the field. So Kangaskhan's going to Mega Evolve here. A great decision by my opponent to lead with Kangaskhan and Zapdos, so that was a really, really strong lead combination. And of course, lead matchups are always so important. So he does go for the Fake Out here onto the Landorus. Yep, that was to be expected. Still does a very good amount of damage. Kangaskhan just so powerful. He does go for the Tailwind there with Zapdos, which isn't much of a surprise. So we do match Tailwinds. That's why I didn't protect with Togekiss first turn, especially because I figured I had a chance at surviving a Thunderbolt. So we trade things, trade turns here. Not the best, not the worst either. Okay, let's see. I can actually probably redirect an attack away from Kangaskhan, so I could potentially go for the Follow Me Rock Slide here, but then I'd sacrifice Togekiss immediately. One reason why I do like that play is because I get a free switch into my Kangaskhan. I could also just go straight for the Superpower, but I don't know if it's enough to knock out his Kangaskhan. Let's see, so he probably didn't bring Gardevoir in this match, presumably Heatran and Landorus in the back, maybe Amoonguss, but Heatran and Landorus makes a lot of sense, so Rotom's really, really important in this match for sure. I could also protect Rock Slide. But I really want, I want to go Follow Me Rock Slide here. Yeah, so I get the flinch chance here immediately. I get a lot of free damage off. He switches out Kangaskhan, which is perfectly fine by me. I guess he's going to bring his own Landorus in. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, his Landers now puts on pressure with Rock Slide. He also gets the Intimidate off against mine, so really good play on my opponent's end there, also conserving that Kangaskhan. So I'm guessing he's going to go for the Thunderbolt here, maybe a Hidden Power Ice, but we'll see if Rock Slide can get a flinch here. Unfortunately, I actually missed the Zapdos, which I really needed the damage against, so I'm not too happy about that. Doesn't do very much against the Landers, and he smartly goes for the Thunderbolt instead of the Hidden Power Ice. Doesn't quite knock out Togekiss. Like I said, it's going to bring me down to my Citrus Berry. But at the same time, a bit bummed out about missing that Rock Slide. Of course, it wasn't going to do too much damage, but any damage is good against his team right now. So let's see. Not liking my position too much right now. I could protect here and switch my Landers out into Rotom. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to make this play. My Landers is pretty essential to winning this match, just because of its ability to intimidate the Kangaskhan in the back and Rock Slide. So I'm going to play a bit safer here. He might punish me, but the worst case is Rotom takes a Rock Slide and a Hidden Power Ice here. So he does go for the Rock Slide with his Landers to be expected. Yeah, that does a relative amount, and he goes for the Thunderbolt onto a Togekiss. Yeah, so that works out alright. Now I think he's going to Rock Slide Thunderbolt the Rotom, so I'm actually just going to go for the Follow Me, and I'm going to try to knock out the Landers here with the Hidden Power Ice. So as long as he doesn't flinch me, this will work out alright. He might actually switch out the Landers, though, which would be a really good play on his end, but we'll see. Actually, now that I think about it, it would make a lot of sense for my opponent to switch out Landers, so perhaps going for the Hidden Power Ice wasn't the best idea. But he stays in. Okay, that's good. So I do get that Follow Me. He's going to go for a Rock Slide. Togekiss actually avoids it, but I needed Rotom really to be the one to be avoiding it. So I don't take too much damage here, but of course he has the chance of flinching, and that would be really, really bad. Thunderbolt comes out. Going to knock out Togekiss here. Great, obviously, for my opponent. We'll see if I can manage to attack through the Rock Slide. Unfortunately, I flinch, which is really, really bad for me. So I'm not happy about that at all, because I would have been able to knock out his Landorus, which would have been huge. So I'm going to bring in my own Landorus now. Definitely not very happy about the position I'm in. Definitely going to go for the Rock Slide. I think he might switch back out into Kangaskhan, which would make a lot of sense. If I could have knocked out Landers here, I'd feel really good about the game, just because it takes care of an Intimidator from my opponent's side, so my Kangaskhan would be able to perform a bit better in the match, but unfortunately not panning out. But we'll see where we can go from here. I'm going to go for the Rock Slide with Landers here. At this point, you know, one flinch can turn the game around on my side, and of course, Rock Slide's flinch chance relatively high. He does withdraw the Landers, which isn't much of a surprise. I guess Kangaskhan coming back in, but it's actually going to be Heatran, which I was a bit surprised to see. It does confirm my opponent's fourth Pokemon, though. Rock Slide fortunately connects with both my opponent's Pokemon this time, but do I get the flinch? I really need the flinch here on Zapdos to keep me in this game. Unfortunately not. He gets the Hidden Power, and that's going to be goodbye to Landorus. So, yeah. What else could I have done better there? Not much. I guess I could have switched my Landorus out or U-turned out. At least I'm going to get the Thunderbolt off here against the Zapdos. Actually picks up the knockout, so Life Orb Rotom coming through there. But at this point, you know, it's 3-on-2. He's got the Landorus in the back for the Intimidate and his own Kangaskhan, so it doesn't look too great at this point, but we'll see. Yeah, one flinch could have turned the battle completely around there, but unfortunately not getting it. I mean, can't really complain about that, though. So I'm going to bring in Kangaskhan. It's still definitely slightly possible to win this one, but very unlikely, I'd say. Let's see. What would you do if you're my opponent here? Probably switch Heatran out into Landorus and fake out Rotom. So maybe I can make some plays going for the low kick onto his Kangaskhan and protecting my Rotom here. Though he might be smart enough to just target down the Kangaskhan with the fake out. So we'll see. It's a close one, but I don't know. My opponent is just faster than me right now. He actually doesn't switch out with either of his Pokemon, which is an interesting decision. We'll see what he goes for then. Excuse me. Okay, so Rotom protects here. Perhaps I shouldn't have protected with Rotom there. He's probably going to fake out Kang now that I think about it. Oh, no, he does fake out Rotom. Oh, okay. So I do get this low kick off. Isn't enough to knock it out. Comes so close, but falls just short. As he goes for the Fire Blast, but Kangaskhan avoids it, which is pretty nice. Now, I am pretty speedy with Rotom, so perhaps I could pick up 2 knockouts here with a Sucker Punch and a Hydro Pump. That would be clutch. But let's see. So that definitely gives me a small window of opportunity to come back into this match. But it's going to come down to whether how fast his Heatran is, whether I can connect with this Hydro Pump, whether he outspeeds me and, you know, gets the Sucker Punch off beforehand. But now this match definitely got really, really interesting. My opponent might also switch out Kangaskhan into Landorus, though, and part of me wishes I predicted that, but at this point I just have to hope he stays in with both. I do get the Sucker Punch off. That should knock out Kangaskhan, so that's, you know, really, really good. Can Rotom connect with this Hydro Pump? Do I outspeed him? We'll find out. Nope, he outspeeds me, so he gets the Fire Blast off here, targeting down Kangaskhan. Ooh, he's Life Orb. Okay, can Hydro Pump connect here? Okay, it connects. But I fear at this point I'm in Rock Slide KO range on both of my Pokemon against that Landorus. So you see, if I connected with that Hidden Power Ice earlier on, I think I actually would have been able to win this game, but unfortunately not the case. Also, if he misses a Rock Slide, I can definitely still win this one, but not looking too great for me here. So my opponent's going to bring in that Landorus now, and we'll see what we can do. It is really close, but with that Intimidate, unfortunately, I don't think 2 Sucker Punches can even knock him out, so, Can Kangaskhan survive a Rock Slide? Potentially, but Double Edge will KO. I'll KO myself from Double Edge or Recoil. Yeah, so I think I'm going to Sucker Punch Protect this turn. Just to maximize the chances of him missing a Rock Slide on any. Because if he misses one Rock Slide, he loses. And, you know, he can't flinch me this way if I go for the Sucker Punch. So, yeah, that's not doing enough damage. So he's obviously Rock Sliding at this point. Yep. Unfortunately, Kangaskhan does not dodge it. Will it knock me out? Nope, I hang on with 12 HP. Yeah, so at this one, I'm playing for him missing. So I'm going to go for the Double Edge, and I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Ice. And if he misses one of the 2, I think I win. Actually, no, he needs to miss Rotom, I guess. Unfortunately, not connecting. Unless Rotom manages to hang on here, which I highly doubt, it'll be a good game. Yep, so unfortunately we're going to lose the first game of today's episode. Really, really close game. Honestly, it all came down to that Rock Slide flinch ultimately, I think. But, you know, that's the odds you play with. And unfortunately, the thing with dealing with a slower Rotom is you have to play with the flinches. So, Aegislash maybe would have been a good call just to shut down the Landorus a bit more, especially with Wide Guard. But that's a game I don't mind losing too much. I don't feel like my opponent particularly outplayed me throughout the match. If anything, I could have made maybe a better decision in Pokemon choices. For example, the lead matchup was quite dismal on my end. For example, leading something like Kangaskhan Landorus would have been so helpful against my opponent's team, but I decided to bring Togekiss. A Tailwind definitely helped out, as did Follow Me support, but unfortunately not panning out since we both matched Tailwinds. But still a really solid game, especially on my opponent's end there, and a pretty cool team. You don't see the dual Mega Hybrid team too often. We're going to find a 1697 opponent from Japan for our next opponent of the day. A win here will put us back over 1800, so that'd be nice. Relatively standard looking team here of Amoonguss, Bisharp, Kangaskhan, Rotom Wash, Landorus, and Talonflame. So it really takes me back actually to VGC 2014, other than the Landorus on my opponent's side. So once again, King Landorus running everywhere. But let's see, the Bisharp here is definitely a bit intimidating, just because of the fact that I can't freely lead with Landorus. I always like leading Kangaskhan for the fake out pressure. Maybe something like Kang Togekiss here actually with Landorus in the back. And part of me really wants to bring Volcarona because Volcarona does a lot against Bisharp, Amoonguss, Rotom, and Kangaskhan. If I can get a Quiver Dance off, but I need the proper support. So something like Volcarona Togekiss actually makes a fair amount of sense. Huh, maybe it's time to bring both of those Pokemon. Maybe with Kang and Landorus in the back. Though part of me still wants my Rotom Wash just because it beats his Talonflame and his Kangaskhan. Or Landorus, I should say. Let's see. Maybe not bring my Landorus this match, which is kind of weird. Then again, part of me also wants Aegislash or Kangaskhan, or or Landorus just for the Intimidate against his Landorus. You know what? I'll bring Rotom, and I'll bring Kang. I'm going to try to knock out the Landorus if anything, and then try to set up with Volcarona. This way, by leading with Volcarona, it punishes him should he lead with the Amoonguss Bisharp, which I definitely can foresee him leading with. Though then again, I guess in retrospect, since I could have led with Kangaskhan, something else, like Kang Volcarona actually might have been the best call in this game, instead of the Togekiss, but we'll see what my opponent leads with. Just because a Landorus here would be really bad. Nope, but he's going to be bringing Kang and Rotom, which isn't too bad. Though I suspect we're going to see a switch into Landorus. Let's see. If he doesn't switch into Landorus here, he'd probably fake out Togekiss and Hydro Pump. But I want a Quiver Dance here. You know what? I'm gonna Quiver Dance and Tailwind. We'll see what he goes for. Oh, he stays in Scrappy form. That's interesting. Faking out the Volcarona. Nice play there. And I like the Scrappy play there. He does outspeed me with Rotom, gets the Thunderbolt off, but I do set up Tailwind, which is nice. So the reason why he stayed in Scrappy form there is because Volcarona carries Flame Body, and you don't want to get burned when you go for the double fake out, so he chose to lose out on some damage just to not get burned, which is a really, really good play, I think, from my opponent's end, so I like that a lot. This next turn I'm going to go for the Quiver Dance and the Air Slash, I think, onto Kang. Then again, that's pretty risky. But I feel like I'll be ahead so much if I do manage to get the flinch here against Kangaskhan. So I'm going to go for it. He actually withdraws the Kangaskhan. We're probably going to see Landorus come in here. Nope, it's actually Talonflame. That makes sense. So I get a Quiver Dance up for free. I don't think Hydro Pump will knock me out at this point, which is good. Though seeing the Talonflame, now I really wish I brought the Landorus. So Air Slash here, going to do some nice damage, but he's going to be able to get a Thunderbolt off. Oh, so he Thunderbolted instead of going for the Hydro Pump, which is actually really good for me here. So I have Giga Drain here, obviously, which can help out a lot. I can also Rage Powder. I mean, not Rage Powder. Follow Me. This match got really interesting with the Talonflame switch in. I could also protect Air Slash, but he might just Brave Bird the Togekiss. Yeah, I think you Brave Bird Togekiss here. So I could Rage Powder to be safe. You know, I'm actually going to Giga Drain and Follow Me here. This way, he knocks out my Togekiss, sure, but then I get a free switch into Kangaskhan, and Hydro Pump shouldn't knock me out at +1. He does go for the Brave Bird. I also want to figure out what item he has here, because that's really important. So let's see. Yep, gonna knock out Togekiss here. Let's see if he has Choice Band or Life Orb, because if he's Choice Band, then I can Fake Out freely without worrying. Yep, okay. So I get this Giga Drain off. Oh my goodness, that fake Focus Sash that Rotom has. Hanging out with literally what seems like 1 HP. So the procs is Citrus Berry, but that's really clutch from my opponent here. We'll see how much damage he does with the Hydro Pump. Should have knocked me out, but should do a fair amount. It does connect with my Volcarona, so I would expect around 70%. Yeah, right around the money there. But given like he didn't take recoil damage from Life Orb, I'm guessing he's banned Volcarona. So what I'm gonna do here is Heat Wave, Mega Evolve, and Fake Out the Volc. So he's probably going to want to switch out here, but if he switches out, then I can pick up a lot of damage on whatever comes in. I suspect it's either Kangaskhan, which we already know, or potentially Landorus. So let's see. If my opponent missed the Hydro Pump there, that would have been really great, but unfortunately not. But you can't really complain about that. If my opponent's last one is Bisharp, that'd be really, really nice, especially for my Volc, but I don't suspect it. He is kind of Landorus weak, though, and he actually stays in with both Pokemon, which is kind of surprising to me, but okay. So Kang's gonna Mega Evolve. Let's see if Talonflame has that Protect. Nope, he doesn't. And he doesn't Protect with either of his mons. So let's see. Fake Out here might actually knock him out. Oh, so close. Both of his Pokemon literally hanging out with a sliver of HP. Heat Wave misses the Talonflame. I don't know if it can knock out Rotom Wash. Let's see. At +1. Yeah, it knocks it out. Oh, I could have picked up 2 knockouts there. RNG has not been too kind today. Tailwind peters out. Okay. So I guess he's going to bring Kangaskhan in? That would make most sense to me. Oh man, that is such a bummer. I really would have liked to knock out that Talonflame, just because then he wouldn't be able to have an easy way to knock out Volcarona, because then he'd rely on Sucker Punching me, to which I could Quiver Dance and then Low Kick his Kang. But, you know, inaccurate moves. That's what it is. So he's going to bring in his Kangaskhan. Let's see. I mean, here you probably just Fake Out Kang, Brave Bird, Volc. What can I do to mitigate this situation? And how important is Volc? Yeah, it would have been so nice to pick up the knockout there on Talonflame, either with Fake Out or with the Heat Wave, but unfortunately not working out. So he's going to be able to get a Brave Bird off. I'm guessing he's Fake Outing the Kang here. I don't have much of a way to deal with this, I guess. I mean, I could switch into Rotom to take the Brave Bird. That would keep Volc around for a bit longer, but I don't know what his last Pokemon is. You know what? Yeah, I'll keep Volc around, and I'll Low Kick the Kang. It gives me a chance of burning his Kangaskhan with Flame Body should I choose to switch out. Brave Bird shouldn't do too much to Rotom here. We'll see what he goes for. Probably the Fake Out onto my Kangaskhan, though. Oh, man, that Heat Wave miss was a bummer. Okay, so what does he go for? Yeah, he's going to Fake Out my Kang. Not much of a surprise there. I'm guessing he has Landorus as his last one. If that's the case, that's problematic. He does launch that Brave Bird out. Let's see if he targets the Rotom slot. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that did over 50%. This Rotom is too frail. So perhaps it would have been a better idea just to sacrifice Volcarona since Rotom is a bit better in this matchup. It will come down to what my opponent's last Pokemon is. I saved it in the off chance it's Bisharp or Amoonguss. It is Bisharp, okay. Well, that makes it a bit more interesting. Let's see now. You know what? Here I'm gonna protect with Rotom and switch out into Volcarona. Okay, so the reason is my Rotom being Life Orb offensive can actually knock out his Bisharp with one hit with a Hydro Pump. And the main issue right now is I don't know what item he has. It very may likely be Focus Sash. But I'm just going to switch into Volk because if he chooses to target that slot with a physical type attack, especially with Kang, gets the burn chance. Volk isn't too important at this point. He goes for the Sucker Punch and the Low Kick. Okay, so we do have a nice chance of burning here. And we do get the burn. So that's exactly why I say Volcarona, and it worked out. And he doesn't even knock out Volcarona, which is actually kind of funny, but that actually isn't good for me. Oh my gosh, this is actually a really interesting match now with that burn. So let's see. I actually was hoping he'd knock out Volcarona. He has to target it with one of his two Pokemon here. The question is, do I protect with Volk here? I think it might be worth protecting. I'll go for the Hydro onto Bisharp and the Protect here. This way I get a free switch to Kangaskhan, and then he's forced to Sucker Punch to try to knock me out, just because Volcarona puts on so much pressure against my opponent right now. But he smartly protects with that Bisharp, which is a good play on his end. So I'm guessing he's double-edging the Rotom slot? Yeah. Very nice play on my opponent's end there. So Rotom's going to go down. Definitely not a good play from my end. There wasn't much I could have done other than Quiver Dance or Heat Wave with Volk, but Heat Waving might have been the call there. Okay. Okay. So his Kangaskhan is slowly fainting from the burn. So I'm going to bring in my Kang here. Do I Heat Wave or Quiver Dance? That's the question. I'm going to fake out his Kangaskhan for sure. Oh my gosh, this is close. So if I Quiver Dance, the main reason why Quiver Dance would be good is because it keeps Volcarona around for a turn longer. But if he Sucker Punches, or I guess if he knocks off Kangaskhan, then I'd lose. You know what? I'm going to go for the Quiver Dance here. I think he has to Sucker Punch Volk. So I'll get the Fake Out off against his Kangaskhan. Should do a good amount of damage plus the burn. Not as much as I anticipated, actually. It's a pretty bulky Kang, it seems like. Okay, and he Sucker Punches. Good. So I do get the Quiver Dance for free. Of course, at any point should he choose to Sucker Punch, Volk still goes down, but at least he keeps Volcarona around for a turn longer. I think his King is in Sucker Punch KO range at this point, which is good. So I'm going to Sucker Punch here. Do I Quiver Dance again? Do I Protect? I guess there's little reason to Protect, right? So I'll Quiver Dance again. Now, if my opponent's smart, he could actually Fake Out with his Kangaskhan to avoid my Sucker Punch, but nope, he's not going to do that. Let's see if it can pick up the knockout here. Okay, it does. Nice. So it's a 2-on-1 now. Let's see if his Bisharp Sucker Punches. Yep, he does. Perfect. That should be game, actually. Well, we'll see. It's not over yet, but definitely feel pretty good right now about my position. So now I'm just going to Low Kick Heat Wave. He has to knock out Kangaskhan because Low Kick knocks him out regardless of what item he has. So I guess he has to crit a Sucker Punch. Huh. You know what? I could actually play safer here by Sucker Punching his Bisharp in case he has the Focus Sash and Heat Waving. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. This way, he can't Sucker Punch Kangaskhan. He has to knock off. Knockoff will knock me out. Well, we'll see what he goes for here. Bisharp going for the Sucker Punch. Nope, still targeting down Volcarona. That's fine. And I actually get the Flame Body there, so it looks like he wasn't Life Orb. So he didn't have a way of winning this one because even with the crit, he shouldn't have knocked out Kangaskhan. Oh, never mind, he is Life Orb. That was, yeah, silly on my end. But yeah, that Flame Body means he's not going to be able to do anything. I guess I could have just low-kicked Heat Wave there, but I was scared of the Focus Sash. I mean, if he crit me with Kangaskhan with the Focus Sash, Then again, I guess it's kind of silly because I was saying earlier without the sash, because he had, I thought he had sash and not life orb, he shouldn't have been able to knock me out. Regardless, now low kick will be a KO onto this Bisharp, so I guess playing unnecessarily safe there. Let's see how much a Sucker Punch does to Kangaskhan. Yeah, not enough. Even with the burn. I mean, even without the burn, I don't think he would have knocked me out. But low kick's going to be able to come out, and that's just going to be able to knock out Bisharp. So really, really intense second game. Actually, both games today were really good. But this second one, it was really, really scary. One Talonflame and Rotom basically hung on with 1 HP. But Togekiss and Volcarona finally make their appearances, and they do a pretty darn good job. I'd say Volcarona really helped me out in this match, especially with that Giga Drain against this Rotom Wash. So really fun game there. Both games were honestly great. That first game, slightly disheartening because of that flinch, obviously, but Rock Slide's flinch chance is just too good, and we've been pretty fortunate with Landorus as well, so can't really complain. But otherwise, 2 great matches, 2 great opponents, and some fun teams in today's episode. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I shall see you guys tomorrow. Alright, peace.